Are you gonna eat nuts the whole time we're shooting?
Are we gonna
It's
record?
not like it's not subtlety. It's not like you're having a sensible grape.
Take 2.
Okay, so let me just tell our FNFs, fans and followers, fuck buddies. So the microphone messed up the first take, so we're doing it again, and I know that you have a schedule because Yogi is so West Coast and so intense. Today, by the way, I just want to just like air out the laundry that last night Yogi was like, oh, I have nothing going on tomorrow. And then this morning he's like, I just have an 11 o'clock and then a 1 o'clock pod. And then it's like a 11 o'clock and then an 11:15, a 12:20, a 1 o'clock, a 3:15. Like, is that just the life of an LA person? Because in New York, we have it down and we have it down the day before. We're not just like the flowy, like, I feel like you guys are like that. And what's that about?
Well, when opportunity arises, you have 2 opportunities: to run from it or run toward it. And some opportunities popped up to me this morning that I'm very excited about. I'll be able to share with all of you what those are. And yeah, I luckily had some space built into my day where I could listen and learn. But luckily for Ravi, he's on a retreat at our house where he gets to dive deep into himself, exercise daily, be around the sun and the beauty of Southern California, and have beautiful meals with our family multiple times per day.
And don't get me wrong, I love that. I love being around the ocean. I love the sunlight. I love the home-cooked meals. But I have to say that there's a difference between the West Coast and the East Coast. And I think that all of you, FNFs, can agree.
East Coast people go at a rapid rate. Like, there's constant noise, right? Whether you're sleeping, you've got like cars always flying by you, somebody screaming out the window. It's aggressive. There are minimal smiles when you're walking down the street. A lot of hellos. People are literally training for like the walking Olympics in New York City and not afraid to nudge you. Whereas in Los Angeles, we're not afraid to hug you. Not right now, but we're not afraid to say hi, how you doing, how's the day? There's no race to anything. We just take our time, enjoy the birds.
Okay, the birds that are singing that are really loud. Okay, and
Well,
also
luckily
in
all the
your
birds
room,
are singing right now.
in your room, you have this ticking clock that is so loud. Like, I don't know how you fall asleep to that. How does someone sleep to a like? Don't you want just like a white noise?
White noise is not allowed in our house, which is a good thing.
All right,
and that clock is just a normal clock that just has seconds and minutes.
Okay.
And
All right,
hours.
okay. See, this is the difference. East Coast, outwardly intense, inwardly chill. West Coast, outwardly chill, inwardly so intense. And every meal that we have in this house is like a dissection into your life of like, what are you working on? How could you be better? How are you really today? Why did you not sleep? Let's talk about that. Why do we have to talk about our feelings in every single meal?
Well, I think every meal is a conversation that has deeper meaning. And as our father taught us, if you want to learn more about it, watch Life in a Walk. It's a great film. He said man is made to move, and we move through things. So we can't necessarily move. This series, we're not moving anywhere, but our minds are always going, right? And think about it. Your imagination is always going, and it could be going down a dark path if you watch the news every day, or it could be going towards something where maybe some wonderment is happening. And imagination and wonder are tied together. So in our home, we try to make sure our conversations are about that. What are you imagining? What's happening in your head? What are the conversations that are happening? How are you bettering yourself? Do you need any support for that? And we do that with Zane, who's 5. We do it with Amy and my wife. Now here Ravi is on a retreat. Now, as I told him, people spend a lot of money to go on retreats to beautiful places with a lot of sun where they can exercise, eat well, have a nice fresh pressed juice in the morning, a newspaper, and a conversation about themselves and work on themselves. You get to do that
Every
in the comforts
3
of your
times
own
a
home.
day.
What a gift.
What a gift. What we want to incorporate on our Two Bros No Trip show is the element of a trip and a journey, an experience, or some sort of travel tip.
So I'll tell you a story. Here we are amid COVID-19, the coronavirus, where we have to hit pause. And I believe as a society, at least in this country, we're always racing. In New York, clearly nobody knows how to walk at a normal pace. Everybody has to walk as though it's like the Olympic trials for walking.
That's just mainly the gays, but yes.
And in Los Angeles, it's a little more chill, as Ravi referenced, the
Very
difference
chill.
between the two communities, but we still go, right? You're in the entertainment industry, you're kind of hustling, you're moving, trying to figure it out. I was in Santiago de Chile a long time ago. I'm talking, this is probably 2006. And I meet a young man at a hostel who I became friends with. Ever been to a hostel? It's really a friendly environment. You're spending like $5 a night, and you want to go somewhere to eat usually if you're not eating in the community. We sat there, and I think it was one of my early experiences with like a pisco sour, like something along the lines of like a different type of drink, right? So we're hanging out in the lounge, just kicking it. And he goes, let's go to eat. And I said, yeah, let's go to like the one place that's like very cheap. And we went, and I'll never forget it. We ate pasta. And this guy who was from Brazil, and then there was me. We were across from each other. And we ordered what we ordered, and bam, it came. And boom, I knocked it out and finished it almost. Engulfed the meal. And he sat across from me, and he said, Yogi, why do people from your country and you eat so fast? And I never recognized it. Like as a former athlete, like you're in college, like you're just pounding food, you're playing ball, like you're just doing your thing.
Yeah, I play ball. Yeah.
And
balls.
And you don't really have a conscience for it, right? You're just like, and I never necessarily thought about it one way or the other. And I said, wow, that's really interesting. And here he was, like, not even a third of the way done, and our plate was clean. And he said, you know, I've always felt in his culture, in his community, that I always want to enjoy every bite. And that stuck with me so much that it's consciously forced me to slow down. And again, this is 2005, this is 15 years ago, to when I have meals to make sure. And now here we are at this time where a friend of mine, a guy I work with, our producer on college football games, he said he's had over 80 meals already with his family. He always loves to count them when they go on vacations, but now on their retreat, their vacation, they're counting them. And here we are, you and me and Amy and Zane. We have, you know, at least 2 meals a day together, maybe 3. And what a great opportunity that is. Whereas when you're running in New York or walking very fast or chilling in LA but hustling, doesn't always happen. So I wanted to share that story of a travel experience that maybe can help us now when we are landlocked, home locked, apartment locked, wherever you are, like you're not necessarily going anywhere, to just hit pause and maybe extend those meals and not finish it to get to bed or finish it to brush your teeth and read 3 books like with your kids, but extend it to have a little more dialogue.
I love that. I love a little extension of the meal.
Thank you. I'm an extension of the meal guy.
He's an extension meal guy.
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting you brought up Santiago de Chile because I happened to go there last year with Pride Tourist Chile. Check them out. A little plug for them. I went by myself, and you know how Yogi stayed in a hostel? I stayed at a 5-star hotel, and it was absolutely gorgeous, but I don't sleep on planes. And it was a very long flight. I arrived at my 5-star, took a shower.
You didn't sleep on that plane. I don't know if we have to close the loop. Someday maybe you will.
Yeah, when I fly business, I sleep like a bebe. So I'm at this 5-star, I take a shower, I get cute, but I'm exhausted, so I need coffee. And you know when I need coffee, I need coffee.
Get out of the way.
So I asked the front desk, where's the nearest coffee, and they said that there's a Starbucks. Now, when I'm traveling in other countries, I don't necessarily need to go to Starbucks. I was right there, and I needed my caffeine, so I go to the Starbucks. And I'm in line. Everything, by the way, is in Spanish. I knew they spoke Spanish in Chile, but I didn't realize that 2% of the population spoke English. And at this Starbucks, I asked for grande café, and they're like, what? And I was like, un pico, and then they started laughing, and I was like, and they said, Espanol? I said, un pico. And they said, that means dick. That means penis. So I was saying penis. Point being, what I learned on that trip is maybe be a little bit more prepared. So we have a lot of time right now, like how Yogi can do meals with his family. I could maybe teach myself another language, or maybe be a little bit more familiar when I go on a trip somewhere and be a little bit more cognizant of what the culture and the appropriation is there, and get out my Google Translate if I don't know how to say anything, and don't ask for dick unless I'm trying to ask for dick.
You know, I have a rule on trips, no chains. So we went and got to Starbucks. Welcome to episode 2 of The Retreat with Robbie Rob.
Okay, and so on that note, we would like to hear from you. Please give a little comment, a little boop boop, double tap, a little like, a little love, a little exclamation, maybe something you want us to talk about. Subscribe to the YouTube, Ravi around the world.
Not sure what's happening with the shoulder.
Yogi Roth, and sending you much love and gratitude from our casa to yours.
Namaste.
Namaskar. Okay, now do the thing where you take us out. Boop.
Right.
Influencer.